sometimes when you want to lead an environment, you don't really know where to start. And there are many different settings, like you can play with the skylight, you can play with the atmosphere, the directional light, and those are a lot of technical terms, but I personally use a method that is used in painting. This I learned many years ago when I was working at Ubisoft. It's called the design metrics. And what it does is allows you to see the painting and see everything in terms of shapes, and how a shape is created is with light and shadow. So I want to show you how I do the same process here, but inside Unreal, like if I treat it like a painting. So let me just remove my camera for a second. Let me remove all those extra fancy stuff that come with Unreal, like the skylight. I'm gonna put the intensity to 0. Okay, so no skylight here. The sky atmosphere, I'm gonna hide it, and also the clouds, I'm gonna hide them too. And now what you will notice is that I have a black and white picture here. Now, let me go to the post-process volume. So what I can do is actually go to here, contrast. Here, contrast, I can increase the contrast if I want it, just so that you can see what's going on. And let me just remove the bloom just for now. I'll just leave it like that. Okay, so what you see here, it's basically a black and white image, if you think about it, when you remove all the directional lighting. And also, it's one thing I forgot to show you here. It's this indirect lighting intensity, we will put it on 0. Okay, so now we don't have bouncing lighting. When you see here, it's really just black and white. And what you will notice here, and also let's remove that light shaft and this one. So we're good to go. So what you will notice is that this is basically painting. Now, painting in black and white, when you increase the contrast, it looks like this. Why it looks interesting? Because I have these black spots. This is one shape, for example. All this combined is one shape. Also, I have another shape here, like that. For example, this part, all this is a shape. I have another shape here. I have another shape, this is a sword, and I have a shape in the left. And I can do the same with the lead areas. So what will change based on my design here is I want to have an interesting blueprint to work with. By blueprint, I mean, does this image looks interesting to you? Personally, for me, it does. It has a nice, interesting shapes. And these shadows and lead areas are changed based on how the object is rotated. So for example, if I rotate this like this, you will see that I have a different shadow, right? Or if I put something like this, I will have a different design. Or for example, this sword, instead of showing one area is lit, one area is not, I can just put it like this, and I will have a different design. So a lot of the times is how you position your objects and the forms they have to make sure some areas are lit and some areas are not. This is what will make your image look interesting. Another thing you want to have, it's in the directional light, you can actually change the rotation of this. If I change, for example, this or something like this, you will see that my light comes from above and my design looks completely different, right? So if I Control L to change the light, and I put something like, for example, like this, where everything is lit, then suddenly my image starts being a little bit boring compared to what we had before, right? And the reason is there is not enough variation on the shapes. I cannot find those black and white images. Whereas what we had before, if you think about this one, it's really amazing to see. It's really amazing. So let me take a screenshot of this just so that we can have it later. So once I'm happy with the position of my light, I can just press Ctrl L to change the position of it. For example, like this one. Maybe this is a design that I like more. Maybe that's what I want. I'm gonna go back to what I had before because I really like this. I really like this design. Now I can start adding more stuff. So for example, let me remove the camera a little bit so that you can see directional light. Let's add indirect lining. That's one thing. Let's also go to a post-process, what we had before, and the contrast, we're gonna leave it at 1. Not so much contrast. The contrast is helpful for us to see the black and white images. Otherwise, we have these grayscale values where we're not really sure how they fit into our design. So that's one thing. The bloom also, let's just leave the bloom there. And also that directional light. Let's go here and let's turn on the light shaft. Okay, so that's for the directional light. Let's go back to the skylight. The sky atmosphere, it's on, and you will see that looks like this. And skylight, I'm gonna put the intensity to 1. Okay, and then I'm gonna go to my clouds. I'm gonna leave it like that. And this is basically my detail lining only mode. And you will see that my lining already changed, right? Now, it's harder to see like this. And especially when you add colors into this, you will see that it's even harder to notice what's really going on, how to lead your environment, right? It becomes really hard for you to actually think, is this a good lining or not? And this is a way that I personally like to use to lead the environments. So try to think of it like a painting. Try to think of it of black and white spots. Try to think about the shapes they create. And obviously, play with different setups. Different rotation for the sun will greatly affect how your environment feels like. And also, if you rotate a rock, then of course it will have a different lining angle, right? So just think about the position of all these meshes. And next time when you want to lead your environments, think about this. You can actually remove all the fancy stuff that Unreal actually gives you, and you can just go with a directional light, put everything on black and white, and see for yourself, is this interesting or not? And if it's interesting, most likely when you add all those fancy stuff like the skylight, the clouds, the sky atmosphere, the fog, and everything, most likely it will feel good. So that's my tip. I'm having this channel just basically for sharing some insights on game development. As I work on some stuff, I will show you some insights of what I find, and hopefully you find this one interesting. If you do, don't forget to like, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.